Once upon a time, there was a kind old merchant who lived in a small village. He had 3 sons, and they had all grown up in the family business of selling goods in the village market. The merchant was proud of his sons, but there was one thing that troubled him. As they grew older, the sons grew lazy, uninterested in learning the finer skills of the trade, or working hard to expand the business. They were content with doing just enough to get by and never thought about the future. As the merchant grew older and his health began to decline, he started to worry about what would happen to his business once he was gone. He needed to find a way to teach his sons the value of hard work and the importance of perseverance. He thought long and hard and finally came up with a plan. One evening, as the sons gathered around him, the merchant called them close. "My sons," he said in a quiet voice, "I have spent my life building this business, and it has brought us enough to live comfortably. But there is something you must know. I have hidden a treasure, one that can only be found by those who are worthy of it. I have left clues scattered all around our land, but you must be careful. The treasure is not what you might expect. Only through hard work and dedication will you be able to find it." The sons listened carefully, their eyes wide with curiosity. "A treasure? Where is it, father?" they asked eagerly. The merchant smiled gently. "It is hidden within the fields of our land. But remember, this is not an easy task. It will take time and effort. If you are truly worthy, the treasure will reveal itself." The sons were excited, and with newfound determination, they immediately set out to search for the treasure. They didn't know where to begin, so they decided to dig up the entire field. The sun set, and still, they hadn't found anything. They dug from morning until night, tired and frustrated, but the treasure remained elusive. One day, a wise traveler passing through the village saw them working tirelessly in the fields. He stopped to watch them for a moment before approaching. "Why do you dig so furiously, my friends?" the traveler asked. The eldest son, wiping sweat from his brow, replied, "We are searching for a treasure hidden by our father. He says it's here, somewhere on this land." The traveler chuckled softly. "Ah, I see. But what if the treasure is not something to be found through digging and searching? What if it is something you need to create instead?" The sons exchanged puzzled glances. "What do you mean?" asked the second son. The traveler smiled kindly. "Perhaps you should plant something on this land. Cultivate it. Care for it. Let it grow. You might find that the treasure is not something to unearth, but something to nurture and build over time." The sons were reluctant at first. It wasn't what they had expected. But after much discussion, they agreed to take the traveler's advice and began planting seeds in the land. They worked together, each son taking on a different task. Some plowed the fields, others sowed the seeds, and they all worked hard to maintain the crops. It wasn't easy, and they were often tired and frustrated, but they pressed on. Weeks passed, and the crops began to grow. The land that had once been barren and empty now flourished with life. The sons watched in awe as their hard work turned the soil into a garden of bounty. They had never imagined that so much could come from their efforts. Soon, the crops were ready for harvest. The sons gathered the fruits of their labor and took them to the village market. There, they sold the produce for a good price, far more than they had ever made from their previous, half-hearted efforts. The money they earned was enough to expand their business, to improve their lives, and to ensure their future. As they returned home that evening, the eldest son turned to his brothers and said, "Do you realize something? The treasure we were searching for wasn't hidden in the ground, nor was it some magical fortune. It was right here all along, in the work we put into the land." The second son nodded. "Yes, father wasn't talking about gold or jewels. The treasure was the lessons he wanted to teach us. The real treasure is the effort we put into our lives, the hard work and dedication that makes everything worthwhile." The youngest son smiled and said, "We've learned so much from this experience. The treasure wasn't just in what we harvested, it was in the patience, the cooperation, and the pride we took in our work." From that day on, the sons took their father's lessons to heart. They worked diligently to grow their business, always remembering the value of hard work, perseverance, and cooperation. They understood that the real treasure was not always something to be found, but something to be built, one step at a time. The merchant, seeing the change in his sons, was at peace. He knew they were finally ready to take the reins and carry the family business into the future. And as for the sons, they were grateful for the hidden treasure that had been revealed to them. not through gold or jewels, but through the wisdom and effort they put into their own lives.